the Ashanti Regional Minister, Senior Advisor to the President, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and Member of Parliament for Damango, the Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, and Member of Parliament for Okre, the Metropolitan Chief Executive for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, members of the media. The President of the House, when I was greeting him, told me he thought that I would be in Kente to come and address the National House of Chiefs today. But I told him that there was no Kente of mine that could match up to the Kente of the members of the National House. So I thought it would be safer to be in a suit. I'm grateful to the President of the National House of Chiefs, the forward-thinking Omahini of Sefianriaso Ojiahoho Yaojebi II, for so readily agreeing to my respectful request to meet with you this morning. And I'm further grateful that at such relatively short notice, so many of you, our distinguished traditional rulers from the various parts of our nation, have found it possible to be here this morning to meet with you, to meet with me. I asked for this meeting because I want to speak to you about a matter of great national importance, and that is this vexed issue of Galamsey. The President and members of the National House of Chiefs, you have been for centuries the custodians and owners of the lands of our nation. Today, between you and I, as the President of the Republic, we are responsible for the management of all lands in Ghana. Indeed, 80% of the lands in this country continue to be under your custody, much of it having been acquired through the blood and sacrifices of your ancestors. The remainder of 20%, which I hold in trust for the people of Ghana, derives from state acquisition from you. What this means is that ultimately, the welfare of the state of the lands is our joint responsibility. Although by statute, the minerals in the soil belong to the President in trust for the people. Historically, we discharge that responsibility well. Even though for centuries we have been a mining nation, mining did not pose a threat to the health of our environment and water bodies. The rules that you put in place for mining ensure that the sanctity of our lands remained intact and our water bodies remained unpolluted. Tragically, in the modern era, that is no longer the case. And that is why I've come to you today to talk about how together we can repair this dramatic situation. Since I took office on 7th January 2017, nearly 6 years ago, I have made it a central feature of my presidency to lead in the efforts to rid our country of this madness, which we all now call Galamsey. Indeed, it was an important aspect of my inaugural address of that day. It has not been easy, it has not been popular, and we have not got the immediate results that I was looking for. Indeed, in the last elections of 2020, my stance on the issue cost my party and I significant losses in the mining communities. It turned out that my statement that I was putting my presidency on the line in the fight against Galamsey was neither bombast nor recklessness. It was the simple truth. We have tried many initiatives, including that of the community mining scheme and the establishment of a new legal regime for dealing with the perpetrators of this phenomenon, which has imposed severe sanctions on those Ghanaians and foreigners convicted of illegal mining. Still, we have not won the fight. It is obvious that if we are to win the fight, you and I have to take the lead to collaborate closely to do so. And that is why I'm here today. After our meeting, I'll also be meeting with the other half of local government, the metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives in the 90 metropolitan, municipal, and district areas across the country where mining activities take place, to seek their active collaboration too. There are many requests I intend to make of you in the closed-door session of our meeting. But one of the most significant, which I have to state now, is to seek your assistance to take partisan political interests out of the fight against galamsey. It can only succeed if it is a truly national battle, which no one seeks to exploit for political gain, as we saw in the last election. The progress of our country depends on all of us, all citizens of Ghana, all fellow Ghanaians, pulling together to defeat this existential threat to our future. I've said it before, we are not against mining, but we cannot accept mining in a manner that risks destroying our country. Our nation has always been a mining nation. Indeed, in the 15th century, when the first Europeans, the Portuguese, came to our shores, they called the first European-influenced town Elmina, meaning the mine in Portuguese, because from their ships, as they approached our shores, that is the activity they saw our people engaged in. It is not surprising that in colonial times we were called the Gold Coast. I ask all of you to join hands with me in the fight against illegal mining in order to bring an end to the devastation of our landscape and the pollution of our water bodies. We have to win that fight to keep our environment clean and protect our heritage for our descendants, as you did so well in the past. I'd like, therefore, to conclude these introductory remarks and ask the media to excuse us, to play you a short video to indicate the nature of the problem.